I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about each sign and how this shift, according to your ascendant, will affect you in your life. So what I'm going to be going through is the fact that Rahu and Ketu are about to change signs. They will remain for a year and a half in this sign beginning September 9th. So September 9th, we're going to have Rahu go into Cancer and Ketu's going to go into Capricorn. And relative to what your ascendant sign is, how this will affect you personally, because everything will begin to change in the way that I'm about to talk about, what houses that they're going to shift into. So I'm talking about the sidereal Vedic chart. If you would like to know what your ascendant is in your Vedic sidereal chart, you can go to my website and go to the free chart calculator. My website is galacticcenter.org, O-R-G. And once you know which one to listen to, all of this will be relevant for you for over the next year and a half, beginning in September, because Rahu and Ketu will stay in a sign for 18 months, a year and a half. And I want you to realize when I'm talking about this, wherever Rahu, which is the north node of the moon, or Ketu, which is the south node of the moon, wherever they go in a chart, is going to be where the eclipses begin to fall in your chart. And remember, eclipses will always be surfacing things from the past, things that you didn't know about, that can give you the information to really change your life. So over the course of this time period of a year and a half, the most powerful and significant times when things will bubble up and really come to a radical change will be around the time of the eclipses. So pay attention over this next period, what is bubbling up, what is surfacing in accordance to your chart, but specifically, more importantly, around the times of the eclipses. And the eclipses will occur approximately 6 months apart, and they will be affecting in a very amazing way your life. So the places of change, where your life changes the very most, will be where Rahu and Ketu are relative to the eclipses. So let me start with the sign that we're going to have Rahu and Ketu in the 10th house. Rahu is in the 10th and Ketu is in the 4th. And this starts with the sign of Libra. Libras are about to have radical changes in their work and their career. With Rahu transiting the 10th house, there's big changes with your work. And this is basically, this can be expansion, gains. Probably the company, if you work for a big company, could have a major change in terms of a buyout, but something radical shifts. And possibly you'll find that your boss could change, who you answer to in work, or possibly even if you have your own business, this is a time of expansion, big shifts and changes. Now with Ketu in the 4th house, there are many changes happening in the home, in property, real estate. So possibly because of the change with your career position, it may require a move. But at the same time, with Ketu transiting through the 4th house, there is a threat of security. You're not feeling so secure. You're not feeling so like things are going to remain the same. So there's some fear that's evolving around the home front deep within your heart. Now, if your mother's still alive, there could be some problems with her health, or there's something just simply going on where there's upheaval and problems around the home. So family gatherings may have mishaps or problems or delays or cancellations. But overall, your sense of security is threatened. Maybe it's because there is so much going on out in the world for you in terms of your work and your career. So I'm getting that your whole life is shifting and it's changing this year in a big way. Ultimately, it will be for your greatest successes. If your ascendant is Virgo, then this means that Rahu is in your 11th house and Ketu is in your 5th house. And what this means is the 11th house is the house of gains, so it can mean some major gains in the area of your work, because the 11th house, meaning it is the second from the 10th, you're making great money and income from your work. So there's great gains. Plus you're going to be meeting a lot of new people, and new people will relate to finding influential people. Go to social events this year, because you never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to start connecting with. You will be empowered through your friends, through people. But with Ketu in the 5th house, be careful about your big ideas. This is maybe a year that you relax a little bit, because you can be a little obsessive compulsive about making things happen too fast. But rely more on your friends, because this is going to be where the greatest guidance comes. And another thing is, if you have an older brother or sister, pay attention. There could be some big changes in their life, and sometimes not so good. There can be some major shifts and changes that make them feel very uncomfortable, and maybe there's some separation or disagreements between you. If you have children, this is a time to pay attention to their whereabouts, because they are going to be looking for more attention. There's something about something's not right, something's missing, and they're going to strike out to try to get more of your attention. But don't be overly too much. In other words, don't be looking after your kids in such a fashion that you make them uncomfortable. Don't be too overprotective, because during this time, you've got to learn more about your kids, but not in the overprotective way that you're controlling with them. But it is a time when new insights are coming in, particularly about where to invest in your investments. This is something that you will have some major revelations in your financial matters. So if your ascendant is Leo, this means that Rahu is in the 12th house and Ketu is in the 6th house. The 12th house can be worry, concern. So many times when Rahu's in the 12th house, it can disturb your sleep, because you'll wake up with concerns or worries. And be aware that many times with Rahu in the 12th, it can be secret enemies, some powerful secret enemies. So make sure that you're more protected in terms of don't be going to dark places late at night, and use your alarm systems in your house, because this could be where there's theft or robbery. And also with Ketu being in the 6th house, take care of your health. This is time that you have to become health oriented. It's very important how you eat, how you exercise to make yourself stronger. Another thing is, if you have a business where you have employees, be on the lookout for possible theft from them. And the other aspect is co-workers and employees could cause you problems. They could leave or quit when you need them the most. This is a problem. Another thing about the 6th house with Ketu there, aunts and uncles. If you've been concerned over one of your aunts and uncles, be aware they could have a decline in their health. Last but not least, pets. This can be a difficult time period for the next 18 months concerning animals and pets. So if you have a pet that has ill health, you may see a steady decline during this time. But most of all, it is a time for you to step up in terms of your health, because you don't want to be making any visits to the hospital, okay? If your ascendant is Cancer, then this means that Rahu will be in your first house and Ketu will be in your seventh house. This is a time of stress within relationships. You are having a lot of personal crises, and this affects your relationships. Just remember that when we have these nodes going across the first and seventh house axes, that you will be looking at some type of relationship issues. Things that have been hidden, especially during the time of the eclipses, are going to bubble up and surface. And this will be the time that there can be a healing with the relationship. And many times with Ketu going through the seventh, people can come back from the past, old loves, old acquaintances. But this can sometimes interfere with current relationships, if you're in a current relationship. So this is an incredibly important time for self-discovery, for you to take a closer look at where you are and what you're doing, and not threaten the relationship. Don't have unreasonable expectations for your partner, because you will be disappointed if you do. So if your ascendant is Gemini, then this means that Rahu is in your second and Ketu is in your eighth house. Second house is finances, money. There should be an increase in your financial income during the next 18 months. There will be new ways to make money, new insights. But at the same time, with Rahu being in the second house, be careful what comes out of your mouth, what you say. Don't be abrupt, and be a little bit softer and kinder. It also could, with Ketu in the eighth house, deal with a time of obsessions, and if you have an addictive type personality, watch out. There can be a time when you can be obsessive compulsive, eating too much, drinking too much, anything to do with excess that this can bring about. With Rahu in the second but Ketu in the eighth, can deal with drudging up a lot of unconscious fears from the past that can spur on more addictive type compulsions and behaviors. But it could also be a time that money could come to you from the past, coming from inheritance, coming from divorce, coming from old legal matters, or even taxes. And be careful this year dealing with your taxes, because this could be the time that things could be investigated. Be careful. If your ascendant is Taurus, and one thing I didn't mention in the very start, you can also be looking at your moon sign as well, because in Vedic astrology, the moon is very important as well. But if your ascendant is Taurus, then you have Rahu in the third and Ketu in the ninth. Rahu in the third, you're going to start looking at new ways of learning, new education, and just a new way to really expand your level of awareness in terms of knowledge, communication skills, travel. You'll be traveling more this year, or this year and a half. And things will just come up when you least expect it to go on a trip. Go. It'll be fun, exciting. You're also seeking some new spiritual insights, looking for teachers, looking for ways to feel better connected with your deepening spiritual beliefs that is about to really surface. So new spiritual quests, possibly travel to unusual places where you're going to feel more connected to your spiritual truths. Now, if your father's alive, you could expect a decline in his health or issues or problems for him. The other thing is, with this, be very cautious in terms of seeking out spiritual truths and teachers, because many times with Ketu in the ninth house, there can be an attraction to cults leaders, people that may disappoint you later because they may not be who you think they are. So one last thing with Rahu being in the third house, recognize there could be some problems and issues around brothers or sisters, that there could be some miscommunications, arguments, and separations concerning your relationship with them, especially if they're younger. If your ascendant is Aries, then this means Rahu is in your 4th house and Ketu is in the 10th house. You're probably going to change jobs. Something about your work will definitely change. There's something about a shift, a changeover. You may feel very disheartened. You want another position. You're not being fulfilled in your work. It doesn't feel creative. It doesn't feel purposeful. You're going to want to change, or suddenly you may get a notice. Hey, you got to go. That means it's time to go. Move on to something different. It's really good will come out of this. So it's a blessing in disguise. But I see major shifts in the type of work you do as well. With Rahu in the 4th house, there could be a change of residence. Things are changing at home. There's upheavals. There could be things breaking. Like, make sure you have your home policy renewed. So insurance policies for home. And it could be a time when you need a new car with Rahu going through your 4th house. So new career, and it's also a time when you're feeling like through your work, you've got to start finding your sense of security. Security issues are important. Family stress is a key here. So take it easy. Don't push your issues onto your family members. If your ascendant is Pisces or your moon is in Pisces, Rahu is in the 5th and Ketu is in the 11th house. So with this, pay attention to your kids. The 5th house deals specifically with children, and they will be unconsciously asking for more and more attention. But of course, this can also be a time when your children could achieve great things, awards, and progress. They will be more successful. With Ketu in the 11th, it's time to change some of your friendships. If you feel like you have some friends that drain all your energy, that's not good. It's time for a change. Once you close one door, a new door will open. You will find new friendships come about, new friends that empower you. But over the course of the next year and a half, you're going to find some endings in friendships, and you're going to find an emptiness and a void in this area. But it's what needs to happen, the cleansing, before the great awakening of new people, new groups, new organizations that's due to come after this cycle. With Rahu in the 5th house, it's a great time for investments, and you'll do very well with your new investments and what you're focusing in on. If your ascendant is Aquarius, this means Rahu's in the 6th house and Ketu is in the 12th house. And this is a time to focus on health and healing. Get healthier, because there's something that needs to change. You could be overdoing something, probably stress and hard work, because there's a lot of stress in the workplace. And people that you're working with put a lot of pressure on you, and sometimes you end up doing their job as well. This is not easy, but be aware that your health is of vital importance during this time, because Ketu in the 12th house could represent hospitals. But if you're very aware and you take care of yourself, this can be averted. But Ketu in the 12th house means pay attention to your dreams, because you're getting some amazing insights, some amazing prophetic dreams. Write them down. And with Ketu going through their 12th house, also be aware of people talking behind your back in the workplace and of secret enemies. So make sure that you use your protective systems, such as your alarm systems in your home, because this could bring people out of the dark into your home. But with protection, you will be fine. If your ascendant is Capricorn, then this means that Rahu is in your 7th house and Ketu is in the 1st house. During this time, your partner is impossible with Rahu being in the 7th. They will be somewhat obsessive, compulsive, and it's all about them. Don't worry. Let them have their say-so, because you're never going to be right with them. And the expectations you have for them, you'll be disappointed. But just get through this time. Everything to do with you concerning how you relate in your relationship is going to be tested. So your partner may be very difficult to getting along with them during this next period. But I will say that this can be the best time for your own awareness and development. Be aware of what the time of the eclipses is surfacing in you for you to see, to better relate to your partner in your relationships. You're feeling a little bit disconnected from the world right now. You don't feel a part of it. You feel like you want to escape a lot. But you've got to really see what you need to change within you during this time in order to make your life go much smoother in the future. So if your ascendant is Sagittarius, then this means that Rahu is in your 8th and Ketu is in your 2nd house. And this will be all about financial issues. You've got to really step in and start looking at where your money's been going, how you've been spending your money, and it's time to organize your financial portfolio, because things may be seeping through the cracks and things aren't working. This is the time to fix it. With Rahu in the 8th, you may come into an inheritance. You may find that you have to pay more taxes, and make sure you do your taxes with great transparency, because if you don't, you're looking at an audit. Be aware, be careful. A good thing about Ketu for most of us like this, Ketu going through the 2nd house can cause weight loss. So it can make for not being have such a strong appetite as hungry. So take advantage of this, but always make sure that what you eat is quality and not trash. And be careful what you say. Sometimes you're not saying things properly so that people understand where you're coming from. Be clear. Be much clearer in your thoughts in terms of think before you speak. If your ascendant is Scorpio, then this means that Rahu is in your 9th house and Ketu's in the 3rd house. And with Rahu being in the 9th house, issues around your spiritual beliefs will come up. What do you really believe in? It'll be tested, and you're going to question it, maybe be a little cynical about your beliefs these days and what you've previously believed, because things are changing. The world is changing, and so is your perspective. With Rahu in the 9th house, you're looking at a whole different learning. Maybe going back to school, maybe getting higher education in terms of expanding your awareness through school, education. But be careful. This could be a time when you have problems with your teachers and your father. There could be issues and problems, maybe arguments, disagreements with your father if he's still around. It's definitely a time of travel, unexpected, quick trips and travel. You're going to find that this is going to be a great time for you in terms of exciting, fun trips. Go to new places. You'll be hooking up with a lot of foreigners and new people in your life. So that should cover all 12 of the signs, and knowing what to look forward to in developments in your life throughout the next year and a half, beginning in September. So this will basically cover probably September of 2017 through around April of 2019. This is where the changes will be occurring in your life personally. So if you would like more information about Vedic astrology, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to see a magazine that has further details concerning all of this, remember to go to my magazine, which is astrologicmagazine.com. And if you're interested in learning Vedic astrology, I have a university, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.